Our second story out front, extreme makeover, Guantanamo. Yep. U.S. commanders say they need $49 million to build a new prison building at Guantanamo Bay for quote-unquote high-value detainees. That would include people like 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Now, this is according to the New York Times. And the money, I want to emphasize, $49 million is in addition to the $150 to $170 million that the top U.S. commander in the region says he needs for improvements to the existing Guantanamo facilities. Well, the problem is, investing in Guantanamo would seem to be breaking a rather big original campaign promise from this president.
We're going to close Guantanamo. I will close Guantanamo.
Promptly to close the detention facility at Guantanamo.
He said it again and again. It is a promise, of course, that he hasn't kept to this point. And now he might put another $200 million into Guantanamo. Up front tonight, retired Colonel Morris Davis, former chief prosecutor for terrorism trials at Guantanamo Bay, and Rosa Brooks, former deputy assistant secretary of defense in the Obama administration. I appreciate both of you taking the time. And let me start with you, Colonel. $200 million also equals half the amount that was just cut from Head Start programs from the forced spending cuts. So that's 35,000 low-income kids that could go back into early education programs. I'm just using that to give an example for this. Can the Obama administration give GITMO $200 million without seeming utterly hypocritical?
I don't know how you do it. We had a plan back years ago to spend $120 million to build a complex at Guantanamo, and we were told it was a temporary facility, and it was nuts to spend that kind of money. So they built a $12 million temporary facility instead. And as you say, when we're in a time of sequester and cutting money, to spend that kind of, almost $250 million to detain, in essence, 80 men is just outrageous.
I mean, it seems shocking. And Rosa, when you look at they said that the $49 million they wanted was for quote-unquote high-value detainees. There's 16 detainees that fall in that category. So $49 million for the new facility is about $3 million per detainee, just to think about it that way. So we're already spending $60 million a year just to operate Guantanamo. Should we really be spending $3 million a detainee for something like this?
You know, Aaron, when you're at the Pentagon, you pretty quickly discover that when you breathe, you've spent about $1 million. Every time you open your mouth, you've spent another $1 million. Things are expensive at the Pentagon. Yes, this is a shocking amount of money to spend on a place that we said we were going to close a long time ago. On the other hand, I think we're focusing on the wrong scandal. The reality is we've got these people there. We've got detainees there. We've got guards there. And we have to make sure that conditions are humane, and we have to make sure that they're safe. I think the real scandal is that we've got people there who have been cleared for release, who our government believes are innocent and harmless, but we can't figure out what to do with them, so they're still basically stuck in jail. And we've got people who we're detaining indefinitely. We don't plan to try them. We don't know what to do with them. I think that's the real scandal we ought to be focusing on. It's not about Guantanamo. It's about our detention policies more broadly.
All right. You raised an interesting point, but, there was a report last year from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence that found that 28% of the 599 detainees that have been released from Guantanamo were either confirmed or suspected of going back and engaging in militant terrorist activity. When you see that recidivism rate, that's kind of a shocking number. I mean, as bad as the situation is, was the president naive to say he's going to close Guantanamo in the first place?
I think he underestimated the degree of congressional opposition. I also think, though, that we would be facing the exact same issues right now, frankly, if these guys were held in Des Moines, Iowa. It doesn't matter where we hold them at this point. U.S. courts have jurisdiction over Guantanamo, so it doesn't matter where they are. The problem is that we're holding on to them. We don't know what to do with them.
Colonel Davis, is there any other alternative here? I mean, is the president put in a spot where, in order for people to perhaps literally not escape, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find out what the right frame of reference is here, that he has to spend this additional $200 million?
Well, it doesn't have to be spent. We have federal prisons where, on average, it costs about $32,000 a year to keep someone incarcerated in the maximum security prison. So this is, back in the old days, Senator Proxmire had an award he gave called the Golden Fleece Award for wasting government money. So this is nothing more than just a huge waste of government money in a time when we're wanting to cut budgets. And it's the people that complain the most about wasteful government spending that are the same ones that want to keep Guantanamo open, when we're really talking about 80 people that we're going to spend $250 million to confine.
All right. Well, thanks very much to both of you. Appreciate your point of view. We talk about spending government money. We're going to be talking about the